And we live, baby.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Episode 21 TTE Talks. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's here with myself, Soy. We got Pilot. We got Tavita. How y'all doing, man?
You know how I'm doing, baby.
Big chilling. See at the top of the leaderboard.
You know how I'm doing.
Top of the nation right here. We the best in the nation.
We know how the cheesehead is doing.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. This is our first official NFL episode, breaking off from the norm of putting it all into one. You know, we're giving y'all a condensed version of just one sport. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like this is the most exciting sport right now because we're in week. What week are we in? Week 10? Week 11?
Week 11 now.
Week 11 of the NFL. We're going to review week 10 to start off. Well, actually, to start, we're going to have a different segment. We don't have this or that today. We actually got a whole nother segment that Paula's going to hook us up with. We're going to have him kick it off with that.
Yeah, new segment is called Who Am I? So basically, I just give you a brief description of their accolades, and you guess who's the athlete.
Let's go.
It's going to be 2 NFL players and 2 NBA players. You guys should hopefully know some of these. First one, a 2-time NBA champion, NBA MVP, 10-time All-Star, NBA Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-NBA, and played 14 years in the NBA. Who am I?
2-time champion?
Not current. This player is not current, right?
2-time champion.
2-time champion.
1-time MVP.
NBA.
You said MVP or defensive?
Or defensive?
Both. Oh, shoot.
He was an NBA MVP and an NBA Defensive Player of the Year. And a 4-time first-team All-NBA.
Yo, I really feel like we should know this one. And I'm just like looking right over him. I feel like I'm looking right over him. Oh, shoot.
Damn.
No,
Play in the East or the West?
Played in the West.
The West.
In the West.
Yo, I'm drawing all types of blanks right now, man.
1-time MVP.
Oh, wait. No, he's got more than 2, right?
2-time champion.
I want to say Tim Duncan.
Nah, Tim Duncan's got more MVP. He
got
5
more
chips.
Than 2.
He got 5 chips.
5. Bro, I'm soiled right now.
4-time NBA.
He wasn't a defensive.
2-time champion. Bro, I'm going through all of the.
2-time champion.
Oh, wait, you said they're not a current player, huh?
Mm-mm.
Damn.
But he's still in our era.
2-time champion. Played in the West. Ain't Steve Nash. He ain't got no chips.
I give you 5 more seconds.
I'm out. I don't know. I don't know.
Bro.
I don't know.
Oh, no. He only got 1 chip. The Ray Allen?
I don't know.
Oh, he never got Defensive Player of the Year.
So, the player, Vito was on the right track. It was the right team, but it's just the wrong power forward. It was David Robinson.
Wow, the Admiral. Wow.
That's cheeks.
Oh, yeah, he got MVP of the year. Shaq should have got it.
Yeah, he was on the right track, but
that's tough.
I just instantly went to Spurs, and I was just like, I just never think of David Robinson. I don't.
All right, next one. A Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, drafted out of Iowa, and his career was cut short due to injuries. Who am I?
2-time champ.
It's a Defensive Player of the Year.
Iowa?
1 time. He was a Defensive Player of the Year.
Out of Iowa. God. I'm so focused on Iowa, I can't even think of nothing else. I really am.
Damn.
I really am. I'm so focused on Iowa. I should have never started to think about Iowa because now it's messing me up. I'm lost. I thinking about Iowa really threw me off, man.
Is it in our era?
Yeah, it's in our era.
What's the accolades again?
Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All Pro, NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm out.
I'll give you 5 more seconds.
I'm out. I really can't think. I'm out.
Nope.
No? All right. Correct answer was Bob Sanders for Indianapolis.
Dang.
Wow.
So I thought about Bob Sanders, but I only remember him winning one.
Wow. I saw
He won one champion.
I saw Iowa and instantly went to like a D lineman, and I just kept my mind here. Never. Wow.
Yeah, Bob Sanders. That's tough.
Yeah. All right, next one.
We got to get this one.
Out of North Carolina, the 4th overall draft pick, drafted to the Washington Bullets, finished his career as an NBA champion, 4-time All-Star, and NBA All-Rookie second team. Who am I?
North Carolina.
Antoine Jameson.
4th overall. Is it Antoine? No, it's not Antoine Jameson.
It's Antoine Jameson. It's
4th overall pick. How many years they play in the NBA? You said 14? Where did I get 14 from?
You got it from the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I never said how many years they play.
Right. North Carolina. How many times was he champ?
1.
Shane Battier. Wait, did he go to North Carolina? No, he went to Duke, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Duke.
It's not Marvin. No, Marvin. It's not Marvin.
This is our era?
It's still our era.
Damn.
I suck at this.
You feel me?
Yeah, I suck
at this. These are players of the week we all know.
What's the accolades again?
He was an NBA champion, 4-time All-Star, and NBA All-Rookie second team. That's all.
All-Rookie second team? Ew.
All-Rookie second team and All-Star is just like, how? Like, way to come up, though.
4-time All-Star.
4-time All-Star drafted to Washington.
Where did Rip Hamilton go? No, Rip Hamilton didn't go to North Carolina. Vince Carter ain't win no chip.
God, bro. Nope, not him.
Give you 5 more seconds.
I suck at this.
We suck at this. East or the West?
All right. It was
he got drafted to Washington.
Oh, Washington.
I'm out.
All right.
Nick Young.
Correct answer. Correct answer is Rasheed Wallace.
Wow. He won his chip with the Celtics? Oh, no, with the Pistons. Wow, Rasheed.
God, that's bad.
That's tough, bro. I suck at this. Vito, we suck
at
this.
Yeah, we really suck at this.
All right, last one. Coming out of high school, he was ranked number 4 overall ranking, which was the highest ranked D tackle since Haloti Ngata, where he was number 2. He actually became a really solid NFL player for a couple of years, which he became a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first team All Pro, and a second team All Pro. Who am I? Still currently in the league.
What's the accolades again?
6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first team All Pro, and second team All Pro.
Number 4 ranked out of high school. Since
Dominican Sue?
Since Halote Nata. Danny Shelton. Oh no, he ain't in the league no more.
No.
Damn, this is
D tackle. Tyson Alualu?
No, it's the Pro Bowls, man. He made 6 of them. I'm trying to.
You know how hard it is to make a Pro Bowl as a D tackle and be remembered? Unless your name was Aaron Donald.
This is trash. Not Gerald McCoy, is it?
Bing, 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 bing. Ah, he got it right.
Gerald McCoy, okay.
Gerald McCoy. That was the correct answer.
Yes, let's go. We made it.
I'm 0 for 4.
1 for 4, 1 for 4 over there.
Boo!
All right, man. That concludes Who Am I?
We're gonna need to run that back next week, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna need to run that back next week because I'm disappointed in myself. All right, man.
All players in our era, man.
Week 10 review. Looking at Week 10 matchups. Week 10 in the NFL, we have some. It's safe to say that pick'ems are not safe because we say this every Sunday, but any given Sunday is really what's been happening over the last. I'd say the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Like the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think every team is pretty much solidified their identity, unless they're located somewhere in Detroit. Any teams located in Detroit are just
God, bro.
Oh, boo! Anyways, man, we started off the week with the Ravens getting upset by the Dolphins defense, man. They just had the perfect game plan, man. What do y'all think about that game?
Somebody put up a picture, said they ran Engage 8 all second half.
They sure did.
It looked like it too. They had 9 people in the box.
And they was showing it. Like they were just showing it. Like I don't think that was crazy.
They basically did what the Chiefs did to Jordan Love his first start.
Yeah.
To the Ravens. Yeah.
And it didn't like that game, watching that whole game, it was not Lamar's fault. There were so many drop passes that was the difference between 2 touchdowns and no touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just had no help that game. That was all on the receivers, all on the skill players.
Yeah, I saw the one Sammy didn't even try to reach for. You're just like, bro, you're tripping.
Yeah, just a lot of simple wins that turned into ugly losses for all those big teams.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a really impressive game by the offense either. Tua went 8 for 13, 158 yards before. This was after Jacoby Brissett got hurt. He went 11 for 23, 156. So together they barely passed over 300 yards.
Yeah. It's
no touchdowns.
But it's a Miami game. But it's a Miami game. If Miami can beat any team as long as they keep within that box, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what their team is based off of: defense, pressure. Because like you said, teams know their identity. So Miami knows we're not doing shootouts with people. This is where we're at. So
yeah, we're gonna sell out. We're gonna sell out and make Lamar beat us with his arm. And if he can't beat us with his arm, then we got the win pretty much. Filled up. But what other games stood out to y'all from week 10, man? There were some pretty good games out there. You can be biased. You could be biased.
Nah, not us.
For me, the Chargers and the Vikings. Chargers, man.
Chargers and the Vikings. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Jesus.
Because the Chargers. Go ahead, Luis. I'm sorry.
I feel like the Chargers, they're just built like the Browns, except Herbert's a little bit better, but they're still kind of built like them. Yeah, they're still playing like them though, offensively and defensively. So
I almost want to blame the Chargers' woes on their coaching decisions, on their play calling. Just because you got one of the top backs in the league in Aaron Eckler, in Austin Eckler.
Exactly.
And in the first 3 drives, he only touches the ball 3 or 4 times, like on the run.
So that brings up a good point. And it's something that I wanted to talk about. If we go back and we look at all the major matchups, quote unquote, major matchups that we've seen this year, right? Every team that's dominated in these matchups have done what I feel like is the same 3 things. They won a turnover battle, they won a time of possession, and they dominated the run game. I feel like if you go back and you look at Green Bay and Saints week 1, if you go look at Rams and Bucks, Rams and Cardinals, when Dallas whooped our behind, if you go look at some of these matchups where teams are blowing teams out, they have 200 yards rushing and they win the turnover battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we said, it's like the whole league ain't Steph, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones who like the whole league ain't Steph, and even Mahomes and them who still think that that's them, it's like y'all see what happens when you keep trying to ride that train. Like you get brought down. And right now, so like Minnesota is really the team where you're like, they literally play to who they're playing level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're gonna play every game to a possession. Like, it's just so weird, bro. They really are like, if they was to play the Rams next week, they'll play the Packers. If the Packers was lackluster, Minnesota will be lackluster. If the Packers came out on fire, Minnesota will be on fire. It's just like they just break this mold of who they are, and they're a team who I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't want to play that towards the end of the year because you feel like eventually something's gonna click. Like Paula says, they have a really, really good team though. You know what I'm saying? Cook, linebackers is crazy.
Adam
like the
Thielen,
whole team is solid.
Justin Jefferson.
The whole team is solid, bro. You're just sitting there like, why are y'all so on a roller coaster up and down with y'all performances?
Yeah. I think to a point, like I seen your status earlier, like the league is as balanced as it's ever been, and nobody wants to say it. It's really coming down to coaching, and I think that's where it's standing out for the Chargers, man. You got some questionable coaching decisions. You got some questionable calls on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, again, when Austin Eckler doesn't get 20 touches on the ground, what are y'all doing?
They ain't winning.
Yeah, like I understand you got Justin Herbert. I understand you got Mike Williams. I understand you got Keenan Allen. But there's a point to where you got to pound the rock, man. And this is where I'm gonna be biased, but I'm not gonna be biased. The Eagles O-line is starting to get healthy. We're starting to bring back everybody. Lane Johnson is back. Jason Kelce had a scare. Jordan Mailata's back. Brandon Brooks is back. We have a healthy O-line right now. We haven't had that all season. And in the last 3 games, we've averaged about 250 yards rushing. Never at the beginning of the season, the way the outlook was for the Eagles was we're gonna air it out. We're gonna run a spread. We're gonna hand the rock to Miles Sanders every now and then off that option, but it's gonna be a read option, everything. Ever since we got healthy, man, we've been pounding the rock down everybody's throat.
I think you guys are ranked number 3 in the league now. In rushing yards.
Take that to another team, the Pats. The Pats over the last 4 weeks has been one of the league's teams leading in rushing. You know what I'm saying? And they do it constantly with quote unquote no name running back. You know what I'm saying? It's been Belichick's whole theory. Like he's like, yo, there's no such thing as a bad running back. Like I feel like if we block properly, you're gonna go get me 3 or 4 that I scheme for you, and go be a good running back and give me an extra 2 or 3. And so,
put up 45 points.
Yeah, this is the I think that's the separator now is there was the quote that was like the flashy teams look good in September. The teams with substance look good in November and December. So you're gonna start to see a lot of the teams, like you said, there's teams who's built to start off hot, and there's teams who always end hot because they are consistent running the ball team, and that's what they that's kind of how they put their foundation for. So I think the league is more balanced than people want to admit. Anybody can lose any week. People are just uncomfortable with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got the
What's
Pats.
your thoughts on the Rams though? You guys' thoughts on the Rams? Since they picked up those 2 guys.
I think the Rams will get it together just because Sean McVay is way too creative to allow them to continue to be stagnant. But I think what they're missing is they don't have an offensive identity. They have Matthew Stafford, who they're trusting to sling the rock, who is really Sam Darnold-ish right now.
Hey, look, he's got the big booty girl that he wants to show off, right? Or he thinks he does. When the Rams was at their best, who was their best offensive player? Todd Gurley.
Cooper Kupp?
Todd Gurley.
Oh, you talking about back in the days.
Back when the Rams were snapping, Todd Gurley was what everybody thought at that time, if I'm wrong, best running back in the league, right?
Yep.
They schemed everything play action. McVay's trying to use all this creativity. He's losing that substance. Like, bro, Gurley was running the ball and they was play action. Now he's 4 spread, 5 spread wide. Like, everybody's getting away from running the ball, you know? And so that's why the Browns that's why we kind of keep focused on the Browns, because, like, yo, you got a good O-line, good running game. So we know you're going to be in games, but then when we put you in this bad spot, we got you out of it. I just think a lot of people are getting away from just running the ball, bro.
Yeah.
They really are.
Looking at the Rams this last Monday, man, they ran the ball 9 times for 51 yards. 9 times. You got Darrell Henderson, who's actually one of the better backs in the league, and then you got Sony Michel, who they made a trade for when Darrell Henderson was hurt from the Pats, just to not use him. You get a ball to Darrell Henderson 5 times and then Sony Michel 4 times. Like, what?
It's
what?
bad, bro.
Yeah, they're not going to open up your offense with that.
Yeah. So the reason why I've made my stance right now that the Packers is the top team is not because of the personnel change. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones is eating. You know what I'm saying? I remember last year there was a point where people was like, why would you pick up A.J. Dillon if Aaron Jones is this superstar? But when you got 2 backs who can produce at that level, you're going to be in every single game. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Bill will be on 2nd and 12, and he will hand off the ball on the ISO and go get 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, people so the league has gotten microwave, and I think the great coaches who can level that out, that's who's going to come out on top at the end. That's why I'm like, yo, Green Bay really worked in AJ and Aaron. I'm like, yo, that's the dangerous part right there.
If you look at it, the other team that has a very, very similar makeup is the Cowboys. They're not giving Zeke the ball 29 times no more. They got Tony Pollard that's like, you're just as versatile and you can catch the rock.
Exactly. That's
weapons.
They lost to the Bucs early because Dak threw the ball 40 plus times. The games they've been dominating, Dak's been throwing like 25 at the most, because Dak's not gonna make all the mistakes. You're picking up what you need to pick up. Like, they've been consistent. The teams who are being consistent running the ball is the ones who's really starting to stand out right now.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? I think Dallas only has 2 losses right now.
Yeah.
7-2, 1 to the Bucs, and then 1 last week to an Atlanta team that just got hot. Oh, Denver. Yeah, a Denver team that got hot. Teddy Bridgewater got hot. They was running that rock. I think the Deontay, what's his name? Deontay, whatever their running back is. Their 2 running backs are there. Yeah.
Shannon said something about that. Dallas doesn't do good with prosperity. They really don't. Like, when Dallas is doing good, like, everybody starts feeling themselves. Like, it's like they really do, and they be like, they just, like last week, think they could just walk out and do their thing, and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So I think fortunately for them, this is one of the most talented teams that they've had, and the most healthy. Right? Sean Lee's healthy. Their whole linebacking core is healthy. I think they're the one person they're missing is DeMarcus Lawrence, who's out for the year.
And Gregory.
But but it's like you ain't seen that DeMarcus Lawrence miss at all. Like, they haven't missed a beat. You got Diggs over there who's leading the NFL in interceptions. I think he has like 9 interceptions on the year.
And they got Tyron Smith back with the left tackle position.
Yeah,
that's pretty big for them.
But just running the ball, like running. People have to run the ball. And I know it's balanced. It's not the sexy thing. It's not what's selling. But there's a reason why Baltimore and Derrick Henry and Tennessee have constantly been in the playoff picture. And that's because they teams who fundamentally run the ball good.
All right, so going into looking at the standings, man. The standings where we are right now. If we're looking at the AFC right now, we got Tennessee at that number 1 spot. And then 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is Buffalo, Baltimore. KC is snuck in there with a string of wins over the last few weeks. We got Pittsburgh and then New England.
String of wins. I'm going to say that now. It's a suspect string of wins.
Oh, absolutely. I think they won the games that they were supposed to win.
So look, I'm gonna push back on that. Only reason why you beat the Giants is because they get the first down that they need to get a field goal, and they get an unsportsmanlike conduct, pushes them right back out of field goal range. Only reason why you beat Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers isn't there. Green Bay still locked down the number 1, quote unquote, the number 1 defense to 13 points. You know what I'm saying?
Those are games they're supposed to win, right? Like,
yeah,
nobody expected Jordan Love to come out and beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. So that's those was just real. I'm not sold on them, but I also can't not acknowledge the fact that, like, with Reed and with Pat, there's always a chance.
Right.
But I don't think y'all ever gonna, like, what y'all did was an anomaly. Like, people, if that was a routine thing, then everybody would be happy, ready for their team to explode like that.
And I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak. They got the Cowboys this week at home. I think they lose that game. I think they get blown out this game because Pat Mahomes tries to do too much. That defense over there in Dallas is way too talented. That offense is extremely talented. CeeDee Lamb is on a tear. He had his second best game of the season this last week. So
I think he's going to run all over them.
It'll be interesting to see, but the number 7, I think, on the outside looking in is it the 8 teams that make the playoffs?
7, I believe.
7. So Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers are the last team, that number 7 spot. And on the outside looking in that have a chance is Las Vegas, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. Denver is right there tied with Cleveland as well, but I just think they don't have what it takes to kind of finish in that division.
Yeah. So I think Cleveland is now out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cleveland is out. I think Cleveland is out. I'm almost sure. I got to look at the rest of Indy's schedule, but I'm almost sure I think Indy still has one more with the Texans and one more with the Jags.
Yeah, they play the Bills. They got the Bills, Bucks, Texans, Pats, and Cards in the next 5 games.
Yeah, and I don't think the Steelers will make it. I think they drop out of their position as 5th. I think because I just don't believe in Big Ben coming back and lead that team to a successful rest of the season. So
they're 5-3-1. I think that tie definitely hurts them going into the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I think the most dangerous team on the outside looking in right now is the Colts, man. We talked about this. We talked about this earlier, but Carson Wentz is getting it together. This man didn't have to have an amazing game to go out there and win. Granted, they played the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he didn't have to have an amazing game. I think he only scored 10 points for me on fantasy. He didn't score no touchdowns. Do 100+ yards. That's it.
Hey, let your team do the work. Let Jonathan Taylor be the beast of the dude that he is. Let that defense do what he got to do. And Carson, all you got to do is just not mess up, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Basically.
Don't mess up.
He's good enough to go out there and win games for them, but I think it's great that they're putting him in a position with Jonathan Taylor, best back in the league right now. And then Nyheim Hines is his backup, who had a hell of a year last year during Jonathan Taylor's rookie year. So that's the AFC. Any last thoughts about the AFC before we go into the NFC?
So in the AFC, this week has a lot of implications for them, right? Because if Kansas City does lose, that AFC West is going to be it could change real quick.
Yeah.
If KC loses and Chargers and Raiders win, like that's going to flop every week unless one team catches fire here and wins. That standing, they're going to go to the last week of the year. Yeah. Unless somebody gets, somebody puts a streak together. So
got the Bengals and the Raiders playing each other this week. They're both tied.
Exactly. Like Paula said, that's pretty much a playoff game. That's pretty much a playoff game. So
how big of a loss do y'all think was the Tom Brady loss to Washington this week?
Huge. Yeah. Huge. Because now there's no way to me that you get a bye week.
Yeah.
I can't see Tampa Bay getting the number 1 seed now. So
especially with Green Bay two games ahead.
Yeah.
In that league. So
Yeah.
going into the NFC, man, 1 through 7. We got Green Bay at number 1, Arizona at number 2. They both share the same record. We got Dallas at number 3, who has the same number in the loss column, 7 wins. They're 1 game behind. We got Tampa at 4, the Rams at 5, New Orleans at 6, Carolina at 7. Outside looking in is Minnesota, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Philly. All a game behind Carolina.
So
yeah, I think with the NFC side.
Yeah, go ahead, Pollock.
The NFC side, 49ers has a chance to make a big run at the end. I think they could be the last team to make it in too with the Eagles if they get a string of wins at the end. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is 5-0 against the Rams. I didn't even know that stat.
Damn.
Me neither.
For the last 3 years. So they can get a string of wins for the 49ers. I think they can get in, man, for sure.
Yeah. I think like we talked about earlier, Minnesota's going to be one of the dangerous teams. Once they figure it out, man, it's really they just can't get everything clicking on the same game. One day their defense is killing it. Kirk Cousins is throwing interceptions. The next game, Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook is going off. Defense can't stop nobody. Yeah. I think once they get it together, man, they'll be pretty scary. Philly, I like what I've seen the last few weeks in them in their run game. Their defense has stepped up like crazy. Darius Slay is actually what we traded for. He is what we thought he was going to be this late in the season. I think Atlanta's gonna suffer from Cordell Patterson is hurt. That's their Swiss Army knife. They don't have Calvin Ridley. Kyle Pitts is turning out to be a very so-so tight end over there, being the emphasis. He doesn't have a partner on the outside to really draw that attention away from him. But I think Minnesota's going to be the most dangerous team to possibly take over that Carolina. But Carolina's the Cinderella story right now, man. I got them taking that 7th spot.
All right, time for me to come to my Panthers podium. My biggest fear, I have 2 fears. I have 2 fears with this week specifically. And both of my fears is the Saints beat the Eagles and Minnesota beat the Packers, right? That's my biggest fear because both of y'all hold a tiebreaker over Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to understand how we are technically 7 right now, and I think us and Minnesota have the same record. We haven't had a bye week yet either.
Yeah, y'all are 5-5. Minnesota's 4-5. Y'all just have a win.
We haven't had a bye week yet either. Our bye week is in 2 weeks. So if Minnesota happens to beat Green Bay, that messes up a playoff spot. If Green Bay wins this week, which I'm pretty sure they will, but again, it's Minnesota, 90% Green Bay. Green Bay wins this week, they almost pretty much lock up the fact that they will be a playoff team no matter what, at the very worst. The Eagles need to start to make their run here because we still have to see the Saints at the end of the year, and we still got the Bucs twice in Atlanta. So I'm not tripping off of that personally in that way. Dallas is cool, but I also think Dallas could fall off too. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever reason, as much as people want to talk about that division, they always seem to find a way for somebody to try to spoil somebody else's dinner towards the end of the year. So I wouldn't be shocked if, the Giants or, Washington decide to be like, nah, we want to open this door up a little bit. But Green Bay is definitely on the path to keep number 1 seed unless they soil it themselves. Which, again, we don't know here. Arizona, they got a couple divisional games that, hey, going to be slugging out, man. So
I think Arizona finds a way to be 6 or 7 when it's all said and done. DeAndre Hopkins has been out multiple weeks.
Remember when we did our NFC preview show, right?
Mm-hmm.
We said that division was the best division top to bottom, but we also said that division is going to beat each other up so much, whoever makes it is probably going to be an easy out.
Yeah.
Because they all, remember, everybody's about to play a lot of divisional games. It's a lot of meaning, especially in the NFC. So If an 8-9 team makes it, the media might call them trash because they're 8-9, but that's not going to be a bad 8-9 team. And he would have went through the slums to get his playoff spot. You know what I'm saying? So that division, like, and kind of like I said, somebody, you don't want to say it, but it's trending for a couple people to get hurt here. And Kittle just came back. So that division is really about to potentially beat each other up to where nobody can contend. Because they have to play those types of games.
San Francisco's getting healthy. Debo Samuel's going crazy.
Exactly. So it's the NFC. Tampa Bay opened the door by losing because again they still got a lot of divisional games, and if worst goes to worst, they probably could end up not winning the division, and it becomes one of them more tighter things because they're not healthy, and them not being healthy is showing a lot.
Yeah. What you think, Polly?
Defensively, yeah. What happened? What'd you say?
Oh no, I was just thinking, trying to figure out who you had as the kind of the dark horse on the outside looking in. That's going to threaten that Panthers number 7 spot.
49ers for sure. They're starting to get healthy. Defensively, they're there now. Even though they lost last week against the nobody Cardinals on that team, but I think they're still getting together. And Kittle's back, so it's a lot of opportunity for every team over there.
It's gonna be interesting to see what it looks like over the next few weeks, man. Sure. But that's the NFC. That's the AFC. That's kind of the playoff picture right now. We'll go over midseason review, but let me hop into different screen and we'll go over the stat leaders in the NFL right now. We're gonna start off with the offensive leaders. Passing leaders right now.
I can tell you off top, the fact that some of those names at the top of the interception leaderboard is there cracks me up.
Offensive passing leaders, we got Matthew Stafford sitting at 3K. Pat Mahomes right behind him with 2.9. Tom Brady 2.8. Derek Carr 2.8, and then Josh Allen 2.6. Any of these names a surprise to you based on what we talked about at the beginning of the season?
No. I think we're pretty on par with what we expected from my end.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's what we expected, man.
We got the defensive leaders. I think Polly threw this stat out there. This is how many straight seasons with 100 tackles for Bobby Wagner? 10
season.
10 straight season. 10 straight seasons with 100 tackles. Got Denzel Perriman for Las Vegas, Bobby Wagner, Foyesade Olukun over in Atlanta, Roquan Smith, and Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is actually one of the better linebackers that I've been impressed with every time he's been over there, Minnesota.
He's one of those guys who's been overshadowed because he's played the prime of his career where we know a lot of the legendary linebackers we know.
Yeah.
But like dude has a really solid career, bro.
Derrick Henry's actually still in the lead. He's actually tied with Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor at 937. Derrick Henry's out for the rest of the season. What was crazy is they're ahead of the rest of the running back landscape by 200 yards. So Jonathan Taylor's at 937. The next closest is Nick Chubb at 721. Zeke at 663.
He's been gone for like 3 games.
Yeah, he's been hurt. I think Kareem Hunt's been hurt too.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty sad.
You think Jonathan Taylor hits that 2K this year?
No.
No. Maybe like 17.
17
the highest.
17 is the highest he'll get.
Sacks leaders. We got Myles Garrett with 13, TJ Watt with 12.5, who actually had a scare this last weekend. Man's limped off the field, ended up coming back, I think. Harold Landry for Tennessee, Hassan Reddick, Carolina with 9.5, and then Matthew Judon in New England. Any surprises there? I mean, outside of Myles Garrett, we all knew that man was going to be there after this crazy offseason.
Judon, not because I think Judon would have did bad, but him being where he is and playing what he is, like Bills made a defense around that.
Yeah.
And Harold Landry. he hasn't been good since they drafted him, and now he's having a breakout season. So for Tennessee, so that's looking good for me.
I think Matthew Judon was one of the players that didn't even play last year. He opted out for COVID, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
it's crazy the team that they put together post COVID, post Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Receiving leaders, there's a pretty big gap between Cooper Kupp and everyone else by 200 yards. Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuels, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Jamar Chase. Got the rookie in at number 5. Any surprises there?
No surprises. I think the surprise is the fact that Cooper's so far ahead of everybody else.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I think the fact that Cooper really is that far ahead should be noted, and it should be noted that his production has kind of been like that for a couple of years now. Minus getting hurt last year, which, like we said before, I think it needs to change the conversation about how we view a number 1 receiver.
Yeah, and
how we I know scheme and stuff matters kind of too, but I mean, I don't think there's nowhere you could put Cooper and he wouldn't excel.
That's actually going to take me to my next question after this segment, just about top receivers. Looking at the interceptions leaders, Trevon Diggs sitting at 8 interceptions, 3 above the rest. Kevin Byard at 5, J.C. Jackson at 5. And then J.C. Jackson's who y'all traded away, wasn't he?
No.
I forgot who they picked him up from.
Jordan Poyer at 4, and then Justin Simmons. Trevon Diggs, man, 10 games into the season, 8 interceptions. It's tough. Oh, it's 9 games. Excuse me. I think they had a bye week. 9 games, 8 interceptions.
I don't. Jackson. Never dim on a man's light. Trayvon Diggs is killing it this year, but Xavier Howard had 10 last year. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Diggs is that shutdown guy, but I think he is the playmaker guy.
Yeah, so I agree with that for sure. I think he made that statement earlier in the month. He's more of a playmaker. Definitely a playmaker, not a shutdown guy. But I think all of the people that we talked about at the beginning of the season that needed to have a big year are having a big year. I know Justin Simmons was one that we talked about pretty heavily. But I think all the impact players, the ones that are healthy, are actually out there making it. It's just a matter of can they translate them to wins, because a lot of these guys that are in the leaders on the defensive end of things obviously they're not gonna have the best records, right? Like Seattle, you got a losing record right now. Atlanta, losing record. Chicago, losing record. They just spend more time on the field, so obviously they're gonna make plays. But that takes me to the next question. We have our mid-season review. Going back to the wide receiver conversation. Who are your top 3 wide receivers in the league right now? And I mean, obviously your top 3, your top is going to change based on, kind of what you're looking at. Are you looking at stats? Are you looking at impact? Are you looking at consistency? Are you looking at availability? But, holistically, who are your 3 top wide receivers in the league right now?
Right now,
and it might not be the 3. It might not be 3 sexy names that everybody will throw out at the beginning of every season. The Julio Joneses, the Keenan Allens, the Tyreek Hills. But I'm interested to see where you guys are at week 10 into the NFL season. Who are your top 3 receivers right now?
So my top 2 won't change and hasn't changed since probably for a couple years now. D-Hop and Adams are 1A, 1B. I don't care what order you put them in. They're there. The third one is what changed. And right now, I'm taking Cooper Kupp third. Because he can dependably do everything on the field. And it's clearly showing over his production over the last couple years. So Adams, Hopkins, and Kupp. Those are my 3.
Cool. Bala.
My 3 is as of right now, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, and Jamar Chase. Those are my three.
Ooh, Jamar
Chase, just because of his big playability, is ridiculous. He's averaging 19 yards a catch. That's most in the league right now for a rookie. So
I think my top three, I gotta go Devontae Adams. I can't put D Hop in there because of his availability this year. And I mean, injuries are what they are. You can't penalize a man for being injured, but I also can't get production out of you if you're injured. I gotta go with Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel. Man, Deebo Samuel did it a couple games with Trey, and then he's doing it the rest of the games with a Jimmy Garoppolo, who we don't consider a game winner. We consider him a game manager. But the fact that you're out there, you're 200 yards behind the leader, and 100 yards, 150 yards in front of the next guy. Production wise, man, I think you're doing it. Granted, he didn't have a Kittle to throw to for a little while, but
everybody playing chapter 6, but I'm so far behind. It's the police station. I can agree with that. We got it, the custody building.
But those are my top three. That was the question that I've been wanting to ask for a minute.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah. Those Deebo said. We'll probably say Deebo's definitely stepping up for me. Chase, I like Chase, but I still couldn't put Chase over Justin Jefferson. Think about Justin Jefferson still too.
Yeah, true. He's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I don't even think. I mean, yeah, there's just a lot of talented receivers out there right now.
Yeah. And that's why I think the running back game is starting to change because of the way that the athletes are built now. There's just so many more receivers now. So you can go 3 wide, 4 wide, jet sweep type stuff and quick passing game type stuff that everybody's starting to get into. That's why I kind of see why coordinators are like, well, we got all these guys who could do something now.
Okay, where Paulie go? I think we might have lost Paulie.
He said he's coming back. His Wi-Fi crashed. He'll be back. He'll be back.
We'll let him load back in. As he loads back in, let me pull up our TTE, our
rankings, Power Tower.
Power Tower.
The TTE Power Tower, Power Rankings, however, help us find a name.
Yeah, we're gonna let y'all name it because we ain't got a name for it right now.
Yeah, we don't.
It's the Power Tower.
Yeah. I think of Power Tower because I thought of like Mortal Kombat. You know how you kind of fight up the hill and try to beat the person at the top. And then they kind of
yep.
That's kind of like the first thing that came to my head. Like King of the Hill type stuff. So
I'll wait till Polly gets back in here.
All right. So we got.
And what are your expectations for Cam? It looks like he's gonna be taking the first team reps this week. You think he's gonna pick up on that playbook fast enough to be able to step into that starting role going into next week?
Yeah, it will because they're gonna add in a lot of. Well, one, I'll make the statement here. I don't need MVP Cam. I just need average. You know what I'm saying? I just need average. CMC still the best offensive weapon we got. So just let CMC do all the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta do nothing else, bro. Like, if you go look at our chart, our running backs did everything. Catching out the backfield, running the ball. Our receivers, they're too inconsistent. So I really don't want to trust them. Bro, we will run the ball. Cam will run the ball on short downs. You know, CMC makes people respect the box. So this is a game. These next 2 games, honestly, with the playoff picture we talked about, are games just can't afford to lose. Need to win the next 2.
Cool. So, Ollie, man, while we got you, man, what's your expectations for your team this week, man? This is a little bit of a. We're gonna get a little bit into a fandom and let you talk about your team. What are your expectations for this week?
Man, for this week, I think this whole year, man, my team flip flop. Like defensively, it's the most dominant team for defense, and our offense has not been there. as we're used to seeing. So I think offensively, we're going to start getting it together in these last few weeks against our division. We're going to practice against them.
You guys will be without Aaron Jones this week, right?
Yeah, we're without him for I think 2 weeks.
Not bad. AJ Dillon gonna get some burn.
And our players are starting to get healthy now. I think Bakhtiari's back soon, so I think offensively we're gonna get there. I expect us to keep that number 1 spot. So
I do too. Shoot, I do too. As for me, man, looking at the Eagles, man, I'm hoping we continue to pound that rock. Jalen Hurts has been doing an amazing job. As long as we're good at running the ball, he's been thriving off of that run. Play action, even sitting in the pocket. I think I've been most impressed about him and his want to throw the ball before immediately taking off. Even when he's taking off to scramble, he's still looking down the field to make a play. So I think he only has 4 interceptions on the year, I think. And he threw his 4th one this last game. So he's taking care of the ball. That's one thing that Eagles quarterbacks haven't been able to do since ever. So it's nice to see. But let me go ahead and share this tower.
The power tower.
The power tower. I keep messing up the name, bro.
We'll find a cool name.
While I get it pulled up, let's think of a cool name. What's a cool name to have for this?
And take suggestions of any form. I didn't want to do power rankings. I want to do. So you know what? Instead of a cool name, let's think of like criteria. I told you I wouldn't put this list together. It was kind of just a medium of what everybody thinks. But when you think of a team that you would put in the order of a power ranking, what is criteria that team has to meet for you to consider them a top team at this moment?
Consistency on both sides of the ball.
Dominant. I gotta put top 5 people up there. They just gotta be dominant. They ain't even gotta be dominant on both sides of the ball. Just be dominant at one. Because if you think about these teams that we have over here, every game consistently they're dominant in one aspect of the game. And then they're so-so at the other ones.
Yeah.
But now this is the TTE Power Tower. 1 through 10. 1 through 10, I'll go through it, and then we'll go look at the 4 on the outside looking in. We got the Packers, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Cowboys, the Bucks, the Titans, the Pats, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Colts. How we feeling?
I think from when this list was made, as of right now, Rams and Bucks both have to move down 1 spot. So you could move the Cowboys to 3. You can move the Titans to 5. You can put the Rams to 4. Just switch that little 3 through 6 right there. Just switch the Rams and the Cowboys. Switch the Bucks and the Titans. I think that would be the first move I would make.
I think the Titans should be higher. I think they played amazing ball the last 5 weeks. I think without Derrick Henry, they've still been balling. So
yeah.
So we leaving the Cardinals at 2?
I will leave the Cardinals at 2.
I'll leave Cardinals at 2.
But it would not shock me if we came back to this list after these next 3 games, week 13-ish, and we're like, yo, Cardinals is on the first 4 out.
I got the Cowboys at 3 right now.
No, I'm sorry. Put the Titans. I will put the Titans at 3. Can we agree to move the Titans to 3?
Yeah.
I almost want to keep the Cowboys above the Titans, to be honest with you. Actually, you know what? I'm cool with the Titans being at 3 because even through injuries, they're continuing to play consistently. They've gone multiple games without Julio, multiple games without AJ Brown, multiple games without Derrick Henry, and they're still winning. So I'm cool with the Titans at 3.
So the Titans will go to 3. The Cowboys will stay at 4. So then, who would we put at 5? Would you consider the Rams or the Bucks?
I'll put the Bills right there at 5.
Yeah, I almost want to move the Bills. Honestly, I would even put the Pats over the Bucks right now.
Oh, too.
Just because if I'm watching these teams, right? If I'm watching the Bucks, I'm confused as hell on offense. I don't know what they're doing at all. Like I'm legitimately confused.
So I'll show sympathy at the fact that AB and Gronk are both out.
I can't show sympathy because the Titans, same situation. No Julio, no AJ Brown, no Derrick Henry, and they're thriving. So it's hard for me to show that same sympathy for the same key players missing on the Bucks when you got the GOAT on your team.
Yeah, I can't fight that. So right now it's Packers, Cards, Titans, Cowboys, and 5th. Who would everybody put 5th? Let's go with that first. We got Packers, Cards, Titans, Cowboys.
The Bills.
I'm okay with the Bills there. They've been without Dawson Knox. They haven't had both their running backs for. Yeah, I'm cool with the Bills.
So Packers, Cards, Titans, Cowboys, Bills. And then number 6 would be
the Pats.
Patriots.
The Pats. So
yeah, I can agree on the Patriots. They know what they're doing out there, man.
Oh yeah.
And it's showing.
Belichick's got them moving how he has his teams moving, man, and that's a scary thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves the Bucks, the Rams, the Ravens, and the Colts.
So I'm having to repeat it through: Packers, Cards, Titans, Cowboys, Bills,
Pats. That leaves 7, 8, 9, 10 with the Rams, the Bucks, the Ravens, and the Colts.
So I will go just in that order that you said. Rams 7, Bucks 8, Ravens and Colts stay exactly where they are.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
But there's a matchup between these two this week. Somebody in our top 10 list is playing. Well, Chiefs is playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Vikings is playing the Packers. So that's 2 people on the outs who's playing somebody inside. So then let me ask you a question. If the Chiefs was to beat the Cowboys this week, does that damage their standing to you, or is it just good team, good game? Or would it matter how?
I think the how is going to be important. To me, the how is going to be important. If the Chiefs come out and they dominate this game. Cool, we got something to think about. I don't think it drops the Cowboys out of the top 5, and I also don't think that it pushes the Chiefs into the top 10 unless they come out and dominate.
I'll push back on it. Says if the Chiefs have a dominant win over the Cowboys, I will put the Chiefs over the Ravens, but I wouldn't take the Colts out.
I don't know, because the Ravens handled the Chiefs. Ravens beat the Chiefs. Granted, time of year, super important to think about where we are now. But, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Who do the Ravens got this week? Did I miss it? I got it on paper.
I'm gonna replace this list with.
So you know what? Can we actually do that real quick? Can we?
They got the Bears. The Ravens got the Bears.
Ravens got the Bears.
So this is the new list.
So I feel like that's a trap game. The Bears.
Yeah, just like the Dolphins.
I feel like that's another one for them. So, yeah, I would definitely be very wary if we just so happen to see the Bears take out the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Like that'll mess me up.
Damn, that'll be possible. That's possible too.
Yeah, it's again anything could happen, and I feel like the Bears have progressively gotten better.
I think the Colts got the Bills this week.
Yeah, they got the Bills. They got the Bills in Buffalo this week.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah,
Bills Mafia. Damn,
That's gonna be tough. A playoff-like game.
I don't even know who I'm gonna pick on that and pick them to do tomorrow. I don't know who I'm gonna pick on that game.
Anything happened? Jaguars beat the Bills. That's all I gotta say.
That's true. And the Bills are butt against the run. So
Taylor and Hines could snap off. It's a wrap.
That could be it. The O-line is nasty too.
They snap off. That's a wrap.
I think as long as Carson Wentz don't have to come out and win the game, they'll be all right.
And they also lost to the Steelers first game, the Bills. I still think that was a bad loss to them.
Yeah.
Titans will be in the divisional game against the Texans this week.
They'll handle that.
Yeah.
Cowboys, Chiefs, Cardinals, Seahawks. I think the Cardinals will lose to the Seahawks, to be honest with you.
So that's at Seattle, right?
It's in Seattle.
Yeah, see, look, I usually don't pick against any division. In that division, I usually just go with the home team, to be real. Because that's just kind of what it really feels like over there. And
they got Kyler back?
They might. I know Deandre Hopkins is questionable. He hasn't practiced yet this week.
They don't have him. They're losing.
And like you said, it's the second year in a row both of them got hurt around the same time.
Yeah. I think the Bucs are in a trap game too. They just came off of a tough loss. They're playing the Giants in Tampa. That Giants defense is a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
It is.
They're nice.
Daniel Jones. You never know which Daniel Jones we're gonna get. We don't know if we're gonna get Eli or we're gonna get
either Daniel Jones suck.
You still heard from that loss earlier in the year, man. I understand.
Yeah. Freaking bastards.
But this is the new list right now. Packers, Cardinals, Titans, Cowboys, Bills, Pats, Rams, Bucks, Ravens, Colts. That is our list right now.
It's crazy that at this time you got a couple of these people getting ready to play each other, which either is going to separate the list of like who's really above each other or just show just how close this stuff is. If the Bills lose at home to the Colts, I think, if we're just being honest, I think we might be holding the Bills higher than they actually are.
Yeah.
Maybe. They've lost to some bad teams.
They lose. Patriots could be division winners. I don't know.
They play the Pats in like 2 weeks.
I got the Pats winning that game.
Yeah, if they play the Pats in like 2 weeks, and on this trend, the Pats is gonna blow them out.
The way their defense is playing right now, they ready. Ready.
The Pats is gonna blow them out, bro.
We know this Bill likes to run the game, run the score up on divisional rivals too.
He gave the Jets no leeway. I don't care.
None. He said, Mike White, who? Mike who? No.
That's Salah? Salah who?
He said, you used to be on my staff. Nope.
I'm not even going to lie. I think the Cowboys-Chiefs game, I just got a feeling the Cowboys is just going to just run the ball down their throat. 200-plus yards.
I hope
it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I don't think it is because I think the Cowboys is just going to run the ball, control it, and Dallas has playmakers. So that touchdown Mahomes threw, the running back snatched on a DB.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember those are plays he always does. Most of the time he's come out on the good side of it. You're not going to throw that past Diggs and Dallas' secondary because they catch. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to snatch on them, bro. So like you're not going to want to do that. And Micah Parsons is like, he's going to key up on, I just don't,
The way Micah Parsons has been beating up left and right tackles this year is stupid. This man. So the biggest thing I think with the Chiefs this year, I mean, they showed us the statistic on it. I think Mahomes is the least successful when he's blitzed or when he's not blitzed. So when you can rush 4 at Mahomes, you're going to be the most successful. Dallas has the D-line to do that. Micah Parsons is about to beat up that D-line.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be looking forward to watching a Dallas beatdown, being in that division, but the Chiefs fans have been getting on my nerves since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's gonna be that's just a bad game for media. It's just two really annoying social media fan bases.
Oh, yeah.
Not to play each other. So you're just kind of like, oh god, turn my phone off.
They're gonna focus everything they can on a Tom Brady game and see if he can break out of his slump.
Yeah. But in a week where almost everything went right, I think I'm really looking at it now after having this conversation, and most disappointed in the Ravens for not handling business against Miami, because when your whole division lost and Pittsburgh ties a game they should have won, you had an opportunity to separate. And now you gave a lot of now you gave too much hope. So
that's a fact. Yeah.
All right, so going into week 10, going into week 11, thinking about the playoff picture. That's the last topic we have before we get to our final thoughts for today's episode. Thinking about the playoff picture right now, we broke it down. We went into the playoffs today. We are looking at Tennessee with a bye week in the AFC, Green Bay with a bye week in the NFC, 7th spot being Carolina, and the Chargers. Who's the most dangerous team right now in the playoffs? If we went to the playoffs today, we got Tennessee, Buffalo, Baltimore, KC, Pittsburgh, New England, and LA. We'll start there with the AFC. Who's the most dangerous team in the AFC right now going into the playoffs?
New England.
Yep, that's what I got.
They're built for this. Bill Belichick.
We all knew Mac Jones was a Patriot, and if he got drafted there, it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to be the most flashiest dude with Bill. You just need to do what he says. And Mac is doing what he says. And you're sitting there and you're like, yo, this dude's got it. Like, mentally, I don't think he's missing anything that Bill's telling him to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if I be honest and you go back and you look at our game last week, strip fumble, it's just a great play by Barnes. The pick, just a great play by Gilmore. Everything else was flawless. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as a quarterback, everything was flawless. I watched that Browns game and I'm like, yo, this dude's just not missing. Like, he's not missing the mark. Like, he's not missing a play. Mentally, I feel like he is just really an extension of Bill on the field. And like Paula says, that defense is ready, bro. I would not want to play the Pats in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I mean, the most impressive play that I saw Mac Jones make was after he threw a pick 6 to Trevon Diggs, the Cowboys game. The very next play, this man came right back at him. Pump faked it, do it to Kendrick Bourne, 70-yard touchdown.
And then last week against the Browns, when he threw it to Kendrick Bourne in double coverage, like perfect placement and everything.
And that pick 6 too, though, that receiver tipped it.
Yeah.
Like, the receiver tipped it. So it's like
right place, right time.
Yeah, right place, right time.
He made a play.
Mac doesn't, man. Like Mac's mentally got the game down. You could tell he's mentally got the game down. That's all Belichick needs.
I think what this is doing this year is expanding on the conversation of, was it Tom, was it Bill? Longevity, man. It's Bill. Like, Bill put Tom in an amazing place, and he's showing that right now with Mac Jones. He put him in a place to say, look, All you gotta do is pass to Wes Welker 7 yards down the field, let him get 12 after. All you gotta do is pass it to Gronk, who's 6'6", 235 pounds, boxing out every corner in everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you have to do. And he's showing that with Mac Jones, man. So
it's this team that they're building right now really does look like Brady's first Super Bowl team. You know what I'm saying? When people say the first three was defense, yes, it was. The next three was Tom, yes, it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really made up for each other on that stuff. So he's got it built. So I think we look at last year, like Tom won, like, yeah, that's the quick ha-ha. But like you said, longevity, 3-4 years down the line, Bill's going to be continuously contending. Tom's going to be retired. Everybody's going to be like, well, who really was it? Like, it was just two dudes at the right time with each other.
Yep. Still going to have Bill showing up with his cutoff hoodies.
Yeah. They're 5-1 in the conference. So,
yeah,
they're hot, man.
5-1 in conference. All right, going into the NFC, we got Green Bay, who's going to have a bye if we went to the playoffs today. Arizona, Dallas, Tampa Bay, the Rams, the Saints, and the Panthers at 7. Who is the scariest team right now in the NFC?
Dallas. Dallas is probably the most balanced team out there right now.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't want to face that.
I F Dallas up.
We know who he's picking.
Absolutely. I'd mess Dallas up if we played again. I say, hey, when I say that with the utmost confidence, I really do. On everything.
I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna support you on this. And I say right now, this is with all just not knowing what Cam we're gonna get. If this week I see a Cam that we seen in the past, I ain't even got to see MVP Cam. I got to see a Cam that's taking advantage of the best weapons he's ever had in his career. If I see that Cam, it might be the Panthers.
But I'm like, and the thing I'm telling y'all is Cam is the emotional attachment, but I don't need Cam. I didn't have CMC when I played Dallas the first time, and we were still up at halftime. I didn't have CMC. I didn't have CMC the weeks we was losing. I didn't have CMC the weeks we was losing. I don't need Cam. I want Cam because that's my dog, because the worst Cam is better than any option that I got out there right now. I just need a healthy CMC. That's it. That's all I need. And I'm telling you, like I said, I'm confident if I was to play Dallas again right now, whoop they behinds. And that's what bitterness. That is what bitterness. That is what bitterness. Because I owe that to them. Okay. That is what bitterness. But the same way that we could sit here and be like, I beat Arizona without Kyler and without D-Hop, nobody gives me that excuse when I say I lost games because of CMC and because of YGM. So
I was going to challenge that until you said what you said. So I'm like, all right, because Dallas is a different team right now.
Yeah.
So is Carolina.
And so like even go look at Sam. Sam first 3 games he had CMC. Sam played Dallas, he didn't have CMC. Sam played Philly, like that whole losing streak, we didn't have CMC. We had him last week against New England, but he really was limited. Like they was scared that this dude was gonna snap something. Still wouldn't have changed the game because Sam held it. And just be honest, New England had us beat from the jump. We had 2 turnovers and we was down 14-6. Like they had our number, bro. They had our number. So I'm not even gonna lie. But you're not gonna tell me now if I just got an average quarterback in CMC. Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna say we the most dangerous, but I really don't think in 3 weeks you're gonna look at the defense could do without a nigga holding them and be like, all right. But again, I just need an average quarterback, bro. That's it.
I'm gonna go with the most dangerous team being the Rams. Just because there's something about the playoff atmosphere where defenses win championships. And right now, they have the best defense on paper. On paper. I haven't seen anything about it yet. Jalen Ramsey ain't shown nothing. Aaron Donald ain't showed me nothing. Von Miller's out there getting pancaked by a George Kittle who came back from an injury. So it's like, on paper, y'all look like the Lakers with Karl Malone and Gary Payton and Horace Grant and Shaq and all of them. That's what y'all look like. We all know what happened to that team on paper, on the actual court. But I think that to me is probably the most dangerous team right now. They have some weapons on offense. It's all just going to be driven by, is Sean McVay going to get in his way and be an ego, or is he going to do what he got to do to win?
Yeah.
Who you got, Polly?
For the most dangerous team, I said the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Oh, you said they was the most balanced.
Yeah. Who do you guys think is the biggest frauds in each conference, though, in playoff starts right now?
Ooh, that's a great question.
You said the biggest surprise?
No, the biggest frauds.
Oh, biggest frauds?
Let's start in the AFC. Who you got, Vita?
Trying to walk down the list again.
Tennessee, Buffalo, Baltimore, KC,
Baltimore,
Pittsburgh, New England, LA.
Yeah, bro. I think just looking at that picture alone, I would have to say LA. Which sounds so contradictory because a couple weeks ago we was like, yo, this team has it, but like I think it's not just something I'm gonna take away from, but I think coaching might be veering them off a little bit. I know they're playing some, but I'm not gonna take away the people who they played either. I want to say LA only because I want to defend the fact that I assume Buffalo would be at a conference championship. But if we was to walk to the playoffs today, I think Buffalo would get outed by any of these teams.
I'm gonna go with the biggest fraud being the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're in
the picture?
Yeah, they're number 5.
They're 5th.
Oh dang! I didn't hear them. I thought it was Ravens.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. Because the defense could carry you to a couple wins. Mason Rudolph has been in that system long enough. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the biggest frauds, and that's not emotional at all. When I seen, maybe it's a little emotional. Whatever. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, just outright. They have no defense, 0. You traded for Orlando Brown just for it to make no difference, 0. Your left tackle is still butt. What? You moved Justin Houston to D tackle for what? Yeah. He's getting exposed. So you're moving back out to DN just for him to get pancaked by all of the tackles in the league. So it's like, to me, yes, you have Tyrann Mathieu. Your defense is still super sus to me. If a team is capable of running the ball, they're gonna beat them. Period. Yeah. You ain't got to get into a shootout. You said it. You said it on what what's gonna happen this week with Dallas. They're gonna run the ball on them. That's what I think is gonna happen. They're the biggest frauds. Who you got, Polly?
The Baltimore Ravens. I think week to week they're starting to look like it. Honestly,
the rape. Yeah, I can see that.
I think injuries are starting to show on paper now. I think they look flashy because of Lamar Jackson, of course, but it's not looking great offensively or defensively for them. So I think they're the biggest frauds, honestly.
All right, biggest frauds of the NFC, Vita. Here's the picture. I'll give you the picture.
The Panthers. The Panthers.
Oh shit. Oh damn. Oh damn.
Said F your picture.
Oh damn. The Panthers.
Because I still have to go to the playoffs. As confident as I am in my defense, I still got to go to the playoffs for Matt Rule. That's the damn problem.
That's facts.
Yeah. That's facts. He will find a way.
That is not a casual. So, that man is not a casual.
Yeah. I still have to go there with that guy. And I don't like that guy. So if anything was to happen good for this team, it would truly be he would not be the factor that's driven behind any of it.
That one caught me off guard. Who you got, Polly?
No. There's the part of me that says, and go back and check the tape. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We said the thing that makes a team good is coach quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. I told you I didn't believe in my coach. I didn't believe in my quarterback. But I do believe in my defense. I believe my defense can match up with anybody, top to bottom, anybody. Like we don't we run man, bro. We run man. Like we don't them zones people be tearing up. We don't really run them. We run man and we run it really good. We just get hold because like it's the offense and it's what they could do. And them niggas have a tendency to all be on the wrong page, and that'll cost you. So the same thing that we saw in 4 weeks with us blowing leads and stuff like that. That's a real tendency, bro. That's not just an anomaly, bro. It's a real tendency. Cool. So that is a real tendency, and that's the damn coach's tendency. So that is the issue. I will get there and I'll be screaming, nobody's gonna score a point, and then Matt Rule will hold us and we'll get blown out.
Man,
so
Peter rolling with
I
the
couldn't
Panthers.
disagree more.
Oh, is that who you're rolling with? Is the Panthers?
Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers. Couldn't disagree more.
The Panthers. I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints is the biggest fraud to me over there in the NFC. Just because to me they stumbled into some great wins because of their coach. But I think the lack of talent and the lack of playmaking ability on their offense, Alvin Kamara's hurt for the next couple weeks, as far as we know. He's hurt this week for sure. No Alvin Kamara, no Michael Thomas. Mark Ingram is your best running back right now that you traded for. And he old. Jameis Winston, I don't know which one I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get crab eating, Jameis Winston, or, you know what I'm saying, Taysom Hill ain't doing anything over there. He ain't getting his opportunity to throw the ball.
Is he out for the year?
I think he's hurt.
He's out. They got them running with Simeon for the rest of the year.
Trevor Simeon, yeah. Trevor Simeon, and then you got Taysom Hill. You have a capable Taysom Hill. Why are you playing Trevor Simeon?
Yeah. So let me bounce off the reason why I didn't pick New Orleans is because I think at the end of the day, New Orleans isn't going to be in the picture. So that's why I didn't pick New Orleans to begin with. Because I don't think they're going to be in the picture. I think they take an L this week to the Eagles. The Eagles fight their way up, and I think that's just a fight between, to be honest, Carolina, Minnesota, and Philly for that last spot. And unfortunately, Minnesota. I don't have the tiebreaker. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have a tiebreaker. So if it came down to it, I would get bumped off the tiebreaker. But I don't think the Saints is a team that's going to be there 3 weeks when we come back and talk about this. We'll be like, yo, Saints is out the picture. So,
Truth. All right, man. Before we wrap this up, Golden State Warriors just blew out the Brooklyn Nets.
We like that.
In Brooklyn. We'll talk about that a little bit more going into Tuesday's episode of the NBA. Thursday's episode, excuse me, in 2 days. Okay. But I just had to throw that out there, man. They just blew out the Nets. Final thoughts. NBA going into, or NFL going into week 11. What are y'all final thoughts?
Except for the NFL?
Yep. NFL going into week 11.
All right, so let me clarify my NFC statement, right? Arizona, Green Bay, Dallas, Tampa Bay. Who else?
New Orleans.
I'm drawing a blank. Let's go with those four. Our 4 division winners are who we expected to be there with the Rams, right? The 5 teams who were supposed to be there. The only team who I can confidently sit here now and say out of those 5 is Green Bay. The rest of them will still be in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. But the only person who I'm going to sit here and say this team is still who I think they was when we first started the season is Green Bay. And I push back in a sense to say, even though Kyler and D-Hop was out this week, that was still a number ranked 4 defense on paper, right? And again, some days you just get bested, which is cool. That's why I think it's going to come down to coaching, which is why I say if you have to line up my coach compared to the rest of those coaches in the playoffs, yeah, you know how I feel about that, man. So I just don't like that, man, especially compared to who he's going to have to coach again and the experience they got. But be lying if I say we came back in 3 weeks and this league could be hella crazy. You know what I'm saying? The way that it's going. This is the best time of the year in the NFL for me. It's where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Solid, man. Final thoughts.
Anything is possible. Legit, anything is possible within the next few weeks. Divisional games coming up. Big trap games are coming up. So anything is really possible. And the Cream City kickback standings? We looking good with the 3 here.
Yeah. We kind of got a gap between Sefer and Deuce. Got a gap between those two now.
Man, those two they fighting for last place.
Hey, so let's put this on tape now. Sue is always like, show the standings. I'm so nervous. Like, you know who you pick, and you know who won. You know who I just don't know where I'm at. Like, shut up, dude.
Sue's a fraud.
Exactly where you're at.
He just wants something to talk about.
Yeah, like, I can't believe I'm up here at number 1. Like, shut up. What are you, an old Asian lady at a market? Like, shut up, dude.
Hey, only reason he's number 1 is because he made bold picks early. Now he's been just picking safe. You see this man ain't making no bold picks that he made. He ain't picked the Bengals. He ain't picked the Browns like he was doing earlier in the year.
None.
He
got, like you said, you're right. He got away with the bold ones early, and he's been safe ever since.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud. Final thoughts. I'm gonna make a bold claim right now. The Bills in 4 weeks will be fighting for a playoff spot.
Eesh.
4 to 5 weeks, the Bills are gonna be fighting for a playoff spot.
I'll take you one even further. If the Bills lose this week to the Colts, Pats win the division.
Facts.
Oh, I can't even disagree with that.
I'll do that, boy. I think that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. If the Bills lose this week to the Colts, Pats will win that division. And now you go from playing in Buffalo to playing in New England. Nobody wants to go to.
Nobody want to play there. All right, man. Lastly, before we wrap it up, let's talk about the wheel of consequences. I don't even think we got a real name for it. The torture wheel. The torture wheel. We got what? 4 options on there right now, Paulie? 4 or 5?
We got 5.
5. What are the 5 options that we have on that wheel that Sefa and Deuce are going to be spinning for?
So the first one, cinnamon challenge.
Cinnamon challenge.
If y'all tried it back then, man, y'all already know what it is with that one.
You tried that.
I tried that. Nah, that's not it. Second one, Carolina Reaper, hottest pepper in the world right now.
And it's gonna be easy to find in Vegas too.
Yeah. The third one, Black Death Mega Sour.
Oh man, I hope somebody get that one.
I can't. And then the last one was a TTE karaoke with TTE chosen outfit.
Yes. I hope Sefa gets that one. He about to have a leopard spotted thong.
Oh man!
Leopard spotted thong with some Daisy Dukes.
One at the end. The last one is double it and spin again to see what you are doing twice.
Oh my goodness! Double it.
Oh no, that is hilarious.
Double up. Oh man.
Double up.
Oh man.
That's the torture wheel right there.
I can see the outfit right now for Deuce. He gonna have some leggings with some Daisy Dukes and a halter top. Ooh. He gonna rock the hell out of it too. Sefa got to wear a leopard spotted thong with some Daisy Dukes, and he got to pull the thong up over his stomach.
While wearing a Jimmy G outfit.
There you go. Oh man, no. I'm gonna get that man a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. Oh man,
that's gonna be hilarious.
Hey, don't forget the everybody consequence is the winner of your division. You got to wear a shirt with that team at Cream City Kickback. We got to take a group photo with it. So whoever wins your division, looks like I might as well go buy me a damn Cowboys jersey or a Cowboys shirt right now.
Yeah.
Probably might be the only one still wearing.
We'll probably just go to an NFL shop together and everybody pick out a shirt.
This fool probably gonna be the only one wearing his own shirt, his own team shirt, smiling.
Oh man, it's all good.
Thank God. Good episode. Good episode.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all Thursday for the NBA episode 22. Every 10 episodes, we're gonna take a beer of choice from our man Spale. We're gonna throw that on the TikTok. So Spale's drinks. Hey. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all on Tuesday for episode 22.
Let's go.